we go, Clips fans.
Clippers talk with Adam Osland. After every game, download every pod. Clippers talks the name. He's a basketball talking golden god.
New episodes after every game on demand.
Follow Clippers Talk wherever you get your podcasts. Clippers.
Here we go, Clips fans.
Clippers talk with Adam Osland. After every game, download every pod. Clippers talks the name. He's a basketball talking golden god.
New episodes after every game on demand.
Follow Clippers Talk wherever you get your podcasts. Clippers.
Breaking news. Welcome into Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Osland. Didn't expect this morning. Now, I want everyone to curb their excitement just a little bit here as I desperately try to make sure that I double and triple check that this is not NBA Centel or something else, that this is coming from the source. Baxter Holmes would be that. So let's see here. Let's go to his actual page. Let's get to it. Let me see if we got this accurate and it matches up with the title of this video. Boom. I think this is the real Baxter Holmes. LA-based senior NBA writer for ESPN, formerly LA Times, Boston Globe, Oklahoman. Let's see. Okay, this looks like it's right. Okay, what's this? News with DNVR, Don Van Natta Jr., Ramona Shelburne, and Shams Charania. The NBA has found no evidence showing LA Clippers owner Steve Ballmer funneled money through team sponsors to pay Kawhi Leonard in order to circumvent
Shabbat for
salary.
three. Bingo!
Thank you for the super chat. Deca Fantastic. If this is real and this is definitive and this is where things are headed here, as I will click on it and read the entire story for you guys, this is a big day. And it would be pretty timely coming off the reports I did about Pablo this weekend. Don't worry, Pablo will soon be shifting to, well, it was never an independent investigation anyways, which is why he did the DeMaurice Smith episode, former head of the NFLPA, to lay the groundwork for that, which I already told you about. His next pivot was always going to be, well, it wasn't truly an independent investigation. You couldn't trust it. The NBA is paying for it. As if, who would you want to pay for it? You think the NBA was happy that it's dragged out this long? And I don't think this is the end necessarily, but I got to click and read on this and read this to you guys. I haven't read it yet. Yeah, this is definitely the same Baxter Holmes. I'm just triple checking. I'm trying to do my Pablo, or maybe try to make sure I'm not making the same mistakes as Pablo here, but I'm trying to have some journalistic integrity, be unbiased and impartial, and have some objectivity here. Let's dig in, shall we? Well, it's coming from the ESPN website. This does look like it is Baxter Holmes. Title: Sources: NBA has no evidence Ballmer funneled money to Leonard via sponsors. Here we go. Let me just skim through. I just want to see how long this is, okay? All right. Let's go here. You guys with me? ESPN posted, we good? Okay, so we kind of double sourced it there. Like and subscribe. Let's not make it about me. Let's see what we got. This is quite the day. The NBA has found no evidence showing LA Clippers owner Steve Ballmer funneled money through team sponsors to pay Kawhi Leonard in order to circumvent the salary cap, according to 3 people with knowledge of discussions between the two sides in recent days. Instead, the NBA is focused on whether the team's introduction of Leonard to team sponsors constitutes a violation of the league's rules prohibiting salary cap circumvention. Okay? This is quite the pivot here. Instead, the NBA is focused on whether the team's introduction of Leonard to team sponsors constitutes a violation of the league's rules prohibiting salary cap circumvention. The league is examining whether the Clippers are guilty of failure to supervise employees, though it's unclear what specific rule the team would have violated or what the penalties would be. 2 of the sources said. The 11th month investigation. Thank you for the super chat. The 11th month investigation into salary cap circumvention allegations expanded beyond Leonard's deal with Aspiration, the now defunct green banking company at the center of the allegations, to at least 3 other companies that also had deals with the Clippers. 2 of the sources familiar with the talks told ESPN. However, sources said the league has presented no evidence that Ballmer funneled money to Kawhi. However, sources said the league has presented no evidence that Ballmer funneled money to Kawhi Leonard. The league presented initial findings of its investigation, led by law firm Wachtell, Lipton, Rosen & Katz, to the Clippers in late July, according to multiple people familiar with the matter. In recent days, both sides have been negotiating a resolution to the investigation, the people said. Those talks, led by attorney David N. Kelly of law firm Melvany and Myers for Ballmer and the Clippers, and NBA General Counsel Rick Buchanan, at times have been spirited, one source said. A spokesman for the NBA did not respond to multiple requests for comment. A spokesman for the Clippers declined to answer questions about the nature or content of the NBA's initial findings or the ongoing discussions, but in a statement provided to ESPN, the Clippers said the team, quote, introduced players, including Kawhi Leonard, to companies with which we had business relationships. Making introductions between players and team partners is both an ordinary practice by NBA teams and a common request of players and representatives. This is something we've been talking about since the beginning. This is something we've been talking about since he did that interview with Ramona Shelburne, where all of that seems to be very much signed off on by the NBA. The introduction part of it is fine. It's the negotiating with those companies that got the Clippers, I think, in trouble with DJ and the Lexus deal back in 2014 or 2015. More from Baxter Holmes. The statement also said the team did not negotiate or dictate the terms of Leonard's endorsement deals. There you go. The fact that a player has an endorsement relationship with a company that also does business with his team is not evidence of salary cap circumvention, according to the statement. The Clippers could have their own deal with Aspiration. They were looking to get the naming rights, the patch on the jersey, $300 million deal. Kawhi could have his own separate deal with them. Jalen Brunson has a similar type of deal, not with the company Aspiration, but the Knicks have a deal with the company. He has an individual deal with them.
Shabbat for 3, bingo!
Some people asking, is it over, Grandpa? We'll get to that. I don't think it is right now. The NBA's investigation began after a September 2025 report from podcaster Pablo Torre that cited internal documents showing Ballmer invested $50 million in Aspiration through his personal LLC in September 2021. That month, the Clippers also signed a $300 million deal with Aspiration, making the company the first founding partner of the Intuit Dome. Then, in April 2022, Aspiration signed a $28 million endorsement deal with Leonard. An unnamed employee who purportedly worked for the banking company told Torre that Leonard's sponsorship deal was, quote, was to circumvent the salary cap, unquote. And the report characterized the contract as a, quote, no-show job. Ballmer made an additional $10 million investment in aspiration on March 9th, 2023. Remember when I kept saying to you, the money is no longer matching what Pablo was alluding to initially, where he said, oh, the $50 million from Ballmer in, the $48 million going out to Kawhi, it's too close, it can't be a coincidence. Well, remember, Ballmer kept putting in money, the money didn't match anymore, and Pablo, didn't actually correct his initial theory there of saying the money was too close to be a coincidence. The league's investigation examined deals with companies including Daktronics and Boingo Wireless, which was a wireless provider for the Intuit Dome. Okay, that's a new one. Didn't hear that from Pablo Torre. Sources familiar with the inquiry said, earlier this month, Torre reported that Leonard had a previously undisclosed sponsorship agreement allegedly worth millions of dollars with Daktronics, the South Dakota-based company that designed the Clippers video board inside the Intuit Dome. But like Aspiration, there's no evidence that Ballmer funneled money through those companies, and in recent discussions, the league has focused on those companies only in the context of the Clippers introducing them to Leonard and his representatives, sources said. So they are looking at the introduction and making sure that part of it was okay and on the up and up. That's what it was about. As multiple people keep texting me the story like I'm not already doing a podcast on it live here. A spokesman for Boingo, is that how you pronounce it, did not respond to a request for comment. A spokesman for Daktronics has declined to comment on anything related to Leonard or the Clippers. Over the past 11 months, the Clippers and Ballmer have maintained that they had no involvement in Leonard's deal with Aspiration and have denied allegations they broke league rules. The day after Torre's report, Ballmer told ESPN that Aspiration asked to be introduced to Leonard and that the team made the introduction in November 2021. He said he, quote, eventually learned they had reached a deal, unquote, and denied he directed the company to strike one. Quote, salary cap circumvention rules are important to the league, and I'd want the league to investigate, unquote. Ballmer said at the time. That was in the interview with Ramona Shelburne. Shortly after the allegations arose, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said it's up to the NBA to prove wrongdoing during its investigation. I read this to you yesterday. Quote, I would be reluctant to act if there was sort of a mere appearance of impropriety. I think that the goal of a full investigation is to find out if there really was impropriety. I gave you that yesterday. Ballmer has insisted repeatedly in conversations with confidants that he will not accept a league result that asserts he or the team intended to circumvent the salary cap and would instead bring the matter to arbitration, according to multiple sources with knowledge of his thinking. However, the conversations between Kelly and Buchanan are ongoing, and it's unclear what NBA punishment Ballmer or the team might be willing to accept, or if they choose to fight findings through arbitration. A finding of salary cap circumvention would constitute a violation of the collective bargaining agreement between the NBA and the National Basketball Players Association. As such, all parties, including the Clippers and the union, must agree on the findings and on any discipline. ESPN reported last month that sources close to the NBPA said the union wouldn't hesitate to take the matter to arbitration if the NBA saw penalties without sufficient evidence. Two sources familiar with the NBPA's thinking, and the arbitration process said in argument that a sponsor introduction counts as salary cap circumvention likely would not survive. One of the sources said, that's dead on arrival. Let me read that again. Two sources familiar with the NBPA's thinking and the arbitration process said an argument that a sponsor introduction counts as salary cap circumvention likely would not survive. One of the sources said that's dead on arrival. And what they're looking into is the sponsor introduction part of it. And they're saying that counting as salary cap circumvention would not survive. Early in recent negotiations between the NBA and the Clippers, lawyers for the league raised a decades-old salary cap circumvention case as a template for punishment, according to two sources with knowledge of the discussions. The NBA penalized the Minnesota Timberwolves in 2000 by taking 5 first-round picks and fining the team $3.5 million after the team signed an illegal secret agreement with forward Joe Smith that promised him a multi-year, multi-million-dollar extension. the team's 2003 and 2005 draft picks were eventually restored. They had a handwritten note. They had hard evidence. The physical evidence of the under-the-table agreement helped establish one of the strongest penalties ever imposed for an NBA franchise, for any NBA franchise or player, and it led to Smith's contract being voided. The Timberwolves owner, Glenn Taylor, being suspended, and Vice President of Basketball Operations, Kevin McHale, taking a forced leave of absence. We remember one league insider with direct knowledge of league business said a salary cap circumvention penalty based on player introductions is, quote, an outrageous overreach. And that, quote, it's the job of the players' agents to ask for introductions to sponsors and potential endorsers. The person also said that if the league punishes the Clippers for introducing a player to a team sponsor, it, quote, will be felt across the league and players and their management won't stand for it. So it feels like the Clippers are on solid ground here, with the only argument being maybe the player introduction might have been an issue. But Ballmer cleared that up with Ramona Shelburne. Maybe I will even pull that up here in a little bit. More from Baxter Holmes. Introductions between team sponsors and players are common around the NBA, according to owners and other league executives who have spoken to ESPN. They're also something that the league itself has encouraged. In a slide from a 24-25 deck for teams regarding the business of basketball obtained by ESPN, the league lists, quote, best practices for, quote, successful strategies shared by teams from previous seasons. Identify what players are talking about or commenting on around the facility, the first point reads. For example, if players have noticed a new sponsor on the court or on their jersey but aren't familiar with what the company does, you might consider facilitating a dialogue with an executive from that company to talk about their business and their relationship with the team. Another slide regarding ideas for player initiatives suggests, quote, bring in a member of a team partner, either a corporate sponsor or community organization, to discuss the impact that player appearances have in their organization. The NBA operations manual for 21-22, when the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard reached their deals with aspiration, states that team representatives can't recommend a player to a team sponsor as a candidate for an endorsement arrangement. The team can, however, provide a sponsor with player contact information. So it's a little bit murky here of what exactly the rules are for that introduction process. Again, the NBA operations manual for 21-22, when the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard reached their deals with aspirations, states that team representatives can't recommend a player to a team sponsor as a candidate for an endorsement arrangement. The team can, however, provide a sponsor with player contact information. So did they go too far? Did they not? These are some of the rules they'll be looking into with this. Quote, if teams are approached by business partners or other third parties regarding a potential business relationship with a player, the rule states, according to a copy of the manual obtained by ESPN, teams should respond solely by providing the third party with contact information for the player and or his agent. Ballmer told ESPN in September 2025 with Ramona that his team, quote, found the email that makes the first introduction. Quote, the introduction got made, and then they were off to the races on their own. We weren't involved. I eventually learned that they had reached a deal. I have no idea what the deal was. The Clippers agreed on June 30th to trade Leonard to the Toronto Raptors in exchange for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, and draft picks, but the deal is on hold after the Raptors learned they would be taking on the risk for any penalties that Leonard might face, such as a possible suspension or his contract being voided as a result of the investigation. I would expect that trade to go through. Leonard and his agent and business attorney, Harrison Gaines, have had conversations with the players' union over the last few weeks, and there has been no indication that he will face a voided contract, according to a source with direct knowledge of the talks. Leonard and the Raptors are both operating as though the trade will be completed and reunite him with Toronto, according to team sources. You guys still with me here? You guys good? Two sources with direct knowledge of the situation said Leonard has maintained to the NBPA, League, and Wachtell Lipton that he had no involvement in salary cap circumvention, and so far conversations around potential consequences have centered on him paying restitution for potential improper benefits from the Clippers, such as travel and lodging for his representative and uncle Dennis Robertson. Remember, there was something in that athletic report now about a month ago talking about, yes, were the Clippers repaid for a couple of things. If the case goes to arbitration, the arbitrator could compel document production, witness testimony, and order discovery. After a hearing, the arbitrator's ruling would be subject to an appeals panel made up of 3 people jointly appointed by the NBA and NBPA. The appeal panel decision is binding. Only after that process could Silver be authorized to issue any potential punishment. Let me read that one more time. If the case goes to arbitration, the arbitrator could compel document production, witness testimony, and order discovery. After a hearing, the arbitrator's ruling would be subject to an appeals panel made up of 3 people jointly appointed by the NBA and NBPA. The appeal panel decision is binding. Only after that process could Silver be authorized to issue any potential punishment. This is something Baxter Holmes brought up in his last piece about this, just the procedural stuff of how this could go if it extended into 2027. Why would it be going that long? Because of stuff like that, possibly. It's unclear how long a potential resolution to the investigation might take, particularly if the matter ends up in arbitration. In July, Silver said he won a resolution before the start of the 26-27 regular season. Aspiration ultimately filed for bankruptcy in 2025. The company's co-founder Joe Sandberg pleaded guilty to 2 counts of wire fraud for his role in a scheme that prosecutors said defrauded investors out of $248 million. In June, he was sentenced to 14 years in federal prison. Lastly, in April, Ballmer's attorney wrote a letter to the judge sentencing Sandberg in which he said Ballmer was, quote, flagrantly defrauded, unquote, by Sandberg and lost his entire $60 million investment in Aspiration. According to the letter, Ballmer also commissioned an internal review of the Clippers organization and directed team employees and employees of his charitable organization to cooperate with the NBA investigation. ESPN's Shams Charania and Bobby Marks contributed to this report. Well, then, how are we feeling, Clipper Nation? Are you feeling a little bit better? Is somebody else feeling a little bit worse today? God, I'm glad I did those episodes this past weekend talking about Pablo Torre and possible shoddy reporting. I said shoddy, right? This is critical. So let me go back to what I think is the most important part of this in terms of what they are actually looking at now. Because, again, the title is NBA has no evidence Ballmer funneled money to Leonard via sponsors. They are looking at, it says, instead, the NBA is focused on whether the team's introduction of Leonard to team sponsors constitutes a violation of the league's rules prohibiting salary cap circumvention. 2 of the sources said. The league is examining, this is the crux of it, the league is examining whether the Clippers are guilty of, quote, failure to supervise, quote, unquote, employees, though it's unclear what specific rule the team would have violated or what the penalties would be, 2 of the sources said. They're looking at the introduction that the Clippers gave to Kawhi to Aspiration. That's what this comes down to. And I don't think it looks very good for anybody that is going after the Clippers here and saying they obviously did it. If the most they got is the introduction and them not following protocols perfectly, yeah, as it says below with the NBPA, 2 sources familiar with the NBPA's thinking in the arbitration process said an argument that a sponsor introduction counts as salary cap circumvention likely would not survive.
Shabbat for 3, bingo!
One of the sources said that's dead on arrival. Thank you for the super chat. How about it? How are we feeling? Clipper Nation. Should I play this for us? How's everybody feeling today? I don't know. Surprises came out early on Monday. I thought the NBA was going to hide all this on a Friday news dump. Now I'm in here like I'm waiting for a guest. What's the chat saying? Oh, so real. Forced NBA's hand. Chess, not checkers. Go, Clips, go. It's starting to look like a lot of what I said with Pablo Torre over the weekend. The NBA saw it the same way. Or they didn't see it the same way as he presented everything. When he was jumping from one theory to another within a week and taking these drastic shifts. AP Hoops victory lap. All right, let's see what our guy AP Hoops is saying here. Do I dare? So he's going over. And remember, this reporting was not just Baxter Holmes. He used Shams Charania, Ramona Shelburne, Bobby Marks contributed. So it's not one guy with this. It is well sourced. The only conversations around potential punishments have centered on Kawhi Leonard paying restitution for potential improper benefits from the Clippers, such as travel and lodging. Okay. Benny in here. People they're getting their victory laps off. And I get it. Adam, perhaps Pablo will have to transfer his Pulitzer Prize to you. Yeah, I wouldn't get your hopes up for that. But, God, I'm glad I did those episodes this weekend. I was a little bit at one point, I'm like, am I just doing the same thing Pablo is? Am I milking something? But no, I think it was warranted. Whoo. Former Clippers beat writer Shams Charania, I might add. Now remember, what Pablo's going to do is say it was never truly an independent investigation. That's why he did that episode with DeMaurice Smith, so he could lay the groundwork for that in case the verdict doesn't go his way. Well, it was never truly an independent investigation. It's not finalized. It's not done. But all the reporting from the biggest names out there seems to be more in the Clippers' favor now. Does it not? People going after Pablo. Oh, he's got another episode coming. Let's see what his post says. I'm sorry, but at this point, it means less to me. There was a time where he'd put out the emoji eyes and I'd be concerned. I'm not feeling like that anymore. Not after what he did with the last two. When the time is right, I'm extremely, extremely excited for our episode about this. And he is quoting this part. Instead, the NBA is focused on whether the team's introduction of Leonard to team sponsors constitutes a violation of the league's rules prohibiting salary cap circumvention. Two of the sources said the league is examining whether the Clippers are guilty of failure to supervise employees, though it's unclear what specific rule the team would have violated or what the penalties would be. Two of the sources said the 11-month investigation into salary cap circumvention allegations expanded beyond Leonard's deal with Aspiration, the now defunct green banking company, at the center of the allegations, to at least 3 other companies that also had deals with the Clippers. 2 of the sources familiar with the talks told ESPN. However, sources said the league has presented no evidence that Ballmer funneled money to Leonard. Thanks for the sub. I'm not as scared about this. I'm sorry. My investigation on Pablo was more revealing than his investigation on the Clippers. I'm not. Thanks for the super chat. I'm not trying to be braggadocious here, but can you not see the extreme shift he took from it's all about 2023, it's all about 2023. Week later. Okay, they actually knew him in 2019, and we have emails from 2021. But definitely believe me on this, like you believed me about 2023 the week before when I still had the video of the Daktronics guy who actually said that they had a relationship back in 2019 when he did that episode about 2023 that didn't include any talk about 2019. I don't know. I think I may have cooked with that one. Pablo did unfollow me at some point the past few months. At one point he followed me after I did an investigation on him 10 months ago where I point out the money no longer matches up, which it doesn't. And even that article was kind of alluding to some of that.
Crawford, he has Favors on him. He'll fire in Favors' face for the win. Bingo!
Thanks for being a member here. I did that episode. I put on the graphic, Adam finds out. Because Pablo conveniently, after for so long talking about how close the money was and it's too close to be a coincidence, $50 million in from Ballmer, $48 million out going to Kawhi. Oh, wait. Kawhi never got the $48 million. He might have gotten $20 million. The money didn't match. Not just because of that, because Ballmer kept putting money in. And I pointed that out for a long time. 10 months ago I did that. So that was the first critique I did of him. The last one, you can see it in the last couple episodes I did in the live section here. Let me see if I could actually pull that up for you guys. In case you want to know what I was up to this weekend with my investigation of Pablo's investigation. And I had given him so much credit for so long and tried to be so fair, but I just couldn't do it anymore with his switch up. And it was a drastic one. What I will point to is these two episodes. Investigating, it's called What a Difference a Week Makes, with Pablo's investigation on the Clippers, and then proof that Pablo was milking this Clippers investigation story. Watch those two. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me he hasn't switched up. Tell me he hasn't changed things quickly, and it doesn't look like he's intentionally dragging things along, allegedly. Oh, I think the Kawhi trade's going through. Oh, I think it's going through. I don't think the Clippers are losing out on any picks in this trade. I think we're going to be okay in that respect. There are going to be people that say, oh, the league just doesn't want to punish Steve Ballmer. I don't think those people looked into the investigation as much as they should have. And they went too much off of Pablo's investigation. And taking his word for everything and letting him steer the ship. Because what I showed you over this weekend, I'm not going to say it's irrefutable, but it could be very telling and damning on Pablo's true motives. If he knew while doing episode 13 that everything he was talking about there, about 2023 and the connection because, oh, look at this, aspirations dying out, in comes Daktronics. Now the Clippers, they're funneling money through them. If he knew that they actually had a relationship with Daktronics back in 2019, which we now know, and he went ahead and did that entire episode anyways about 2023, I'm sorry, that chips away at his credibility completely. He might be a marked man now, Grandpa. Yeah, I might.
That's too damn bad!
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
But I can't ignore it. When I went back and watched episode 13 and I saw the same video, it was the same video. And just so you guys have a better idea of what I'm talking about, I'll pull it up for you. I'll pull it up again. With what I mean with Pablo ignoring information that would go against his theory, his premise, all about 2023, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Remember, him and Amin having a good laugh, thinking it's sweet that this Daktronics employee said aspiration. Ha ha ha. Isn't that funny? Poor choice of words.
They had very clear aspirations. They wanted this to be a house of hoops. They wanted people.
So he and Amin kept laughing about that from this Daktronics project executive. What he didn't show in this video in episode 13, maybe because he knew it would contradict his theory of 2023 if he showed the rest of this. And it's hard to believe that somebody as thorough and diligent and detailed and as sharp as Pablo would not have fully vetted this video. Because what he didn't show you occurred just a minute later. Uh-oh.
I'm a project executive, and I've been with Daktronics for over 18 years now. So I got involved with our sales team at the beginning, and I think the initial conversation started early as 2019, and then we...
Whoa! That's a pretty revelatory. That's a revelation. Is it not? And he got to it in episode 14 a week later. Did he sit on it for a week so he could get off his 2023 theory, which sounded really good at the time and damning, and I was worried about it? Because it was only a minute later. Why didn't he get to it in episode 13? Because it would have undercut his theory? I don't know. Huh. I have given Pablo apparently far too much credit for a very long time. But I couldn't do it with these last two episodes. And it's starting to look like he's working backwards. Draws the conclusion, only looks for evidence that lead that way. I don't believe in Pablo's, oh, he's a Laker fan, or he's this or that. Why is he investigating all these other things? I've never believed in that. I've never bought into that. And maybe it started off as earnest and as honest and with full journalistic integrity, but at some point it felt like it got personal. And maybe it was because Mark Cuban went after him, and a lot of people were challenging his credibility, so he got more dug in, and he wanted to go after the Clippers. And he wanted to make sure, because when you have a vested interest after you get a Pulitzer Prize for this, you don't want to see the investigation not go your way with the verdict. You got too much riding on it. Frankie, the real winners are the lawyers that collected half a year of checks to find nothing. But I predicted a month ago what Pablo will do next. And that will be saying it was never truly an independent investigation. That's his next move. Or maybe he has some damning, incriminating video that he's been waiting on the entire time just in case the verdict didn't go his way. We'll see. But it's hard to argue against him milking it at this point with the switch up that I saw from episode 13 to 14 to just point out to you again. Mark Cuban hit some feelings. Yeah. He went hard after him. He hasn't said much lately, but has Mark Cuban tweeted yet to this? I'd be interested to know. He was going Team Ballmer, and I don't like any of that stuff. I think it needs to be Team Truth, whatever that may be. Team Truth. I told you when stuff looked bad to me. I told you after episode 13, when I bought into his 2023 narrative, this looks really bad. I did an episode immediately after. Max Vegas saying, guys, it's over. I wouldn't go that far. But it looks like there's a negotiation going on if the Clippers will accept some penalty, something light maybe, for the introduction with Kawhi and aspiration that they gave, not fully abiding by the NBA's rules on how to do that.
Shabbat for three. Bingo!
Thank you, Jeff. Unshackled Lawrence is going to be nuts. He's got something big and unexpected lined up. Clips need to get younger, but they ain't punting this year. That's interesting. That's quite the theory. I like it. I can get on board with that. I don't like this. Can we move on to the real criminals, the fakers? First of all, call them the Flippers at this point with their franchise being flipped 9 months later. When everybody used to say, oh, the Clippers are the Flippers. Are we sure it's not the Lakers at this point? They got flipped for $2.5 billion 9 months after they were just bought and sold again. But no, seriously, Pablo said he's looking into that. And that might be his new golden goose. We really roll and said, we're not taking any punishment. They mess with us. I did say the entire time, I do not want them to settle if they know they're innocent. Sometimes you do that just to make it go away, even though you know you're innocent. It's just better optics. It helps in the court of public opinion sometimes. But Ballmer can fight it because this is their rep. And I know you guys have talked about defamation. They're going to go after Pablo for any of that. I have no idea. I think that would be hard to prove. Plus, he said allegedly many, many times. As have I when I've investigated Pablo. Everybody wants to cover their ass. Let's be fair. See, Logic is saying it. I'm not holding my breath on that one. I don't know if that's going to happen. Person said, is Ballmer still going to take a lighter punishment to arbitration, or would the negotiation include not drawing it out even more for everyone's sake? That's what I think is in the best interest of the NBA. But if they settled, it is not going to be, I think, with the NBA being able to present it or frame it in any way that has something to do with cap circumvention, because I don't think the Clippers want that stain on their record. I know what happened with DJ. Also, there's more to look into with that case, by the way. But I'll get to that another time. Now we got somebody in here just hating, probably a Lakers fan. Who knows? Clippers statement posted by Lynn and Murray. Here we go. What do we got here? What do we got here? I'm going to have to get Law Murray on. Clippers statement. Let's get to it. The Clippers introduced players, including Kawhi Leonard, to companies with which we had business relationships. Making introductions between players and team partners is both an ordinary practice by NBA teams and a common request of players and representatives. From there, Kawhi and his representatives handled their own negotiations. The Clippers did not negotiate or dictate the terms of Kawhi's endorsement agreements or determine what he would be paid, because that would be a violation. More. Our commercial relationships stood on their own merits. We chose sponsors, vendors, and other business partners based on normal business considerations, including the value they provided, the quality of their products and services, and their ability to meet our business needs. We did not overpay any vendor or provide any sponsor, vendor, or business partner with discounts or other favorable terms in order to funnel money to Kawhi. The fact that a player has an endorsement relationship with a company that also does business with his team is not evidence of salary cap circumvention. Thank you. After nearly a year of scrutiny, the central fact remains true and unchanged. The Clippers did not funnel money to Kawhi Leonard, arrange for others to compensate him on our behalf, or otherwise provide him with undisclosed compensation outside of his NBA contract. I'm going to let this sit for a second. I need to grab my phone. Back with you guys. How's everybody feeling? Yeah, I'm going to lob out a text. He might be writing right now. Punk's gone wrong. Do you think more teams will be interested in Kawhi now that it's likely he won't be punished? They have a deal with the Raptors. They're going to honor that. They're going to try to use this to drive up the price. The Raptors are offering those 2 first-round picks, which are good picks, and Grady Dick and Brandon Ingram, and that deal is still on the table, plus a pick swap. You take it, and you don't look back. Period. Mio, can you let it go? For the love of God. All he does is go in here and talk badly about Kawhi. Let me see. Text somebody else. They have suffered. In the court of public opinion, it's been guilty until proven innocent. And even with this, people are still going to say they're guilty. People are still going to take their shots. They're going to treat them like people treat the Lakers in the bubble. Any player they get, they're going to say stuff about it, which is why I think you have to fight it. Fight for your reputation. Let's see what we got here. Chemo, I'm hungry right now, especially for a nothing burger. Pablo, what's good?
Miley, what's good?
What's good?
Miley, what's good?
I'm guessing the reporters that I'm contacting are doing their own reporting and writing up for their outlets, and they should be. But just in case. Just heard back from one. That's a no. Can't do it right now. Let's see. But there's one guy that typically always comes through. Let me see what else we got here. I'm just lobbing out text messages, shooting my shot. I'm not saying I cracked the case. I didn't. I just questioned Pablo's last couple stories. And I think I provided some pretty strong evidence that he knew in episode 13 that the Clippers already had a relationship in 2019 with Daktronics, and yet he decided to go with that 2023 narrative instead. Allegedly. I don't know, but sure looks like that. They issued the report after Adam put the nail in the coffin. I would highly recommend those 2 episodes I did on Saturday. Clippers against the world, but Kawhi is still a Clipper, so let's respect that. Kawhi is still a Clipper. Technically. I expect this trade to go through because they know his contract is not getting voided or suspended now. That's not on the table. Premature Pulitzer? I didn't say that. Somebody in the chat said it. I just can't find the comment. No. Here's what I don't like. Genius says we riding with the Clippers right or wrong. Sure, we're not changing fanship if they're wrong, but if they're wrong, if they did it, I would criticize. I'd be devastated. I'd be disappointed. I'm here for the truth first. Lakers fans crying, y'all conspiracies didn't land, dog. Okay, so I got this new voicemail feature, and this would probably be a good time for you guys to leave some of those voicemails and me get to them. I'm just thinking today might be a pretty good show for that. No particular reason. It's as simple as, and I'll put it in the chat here, speak. It's really easy to do. Speakpipe.com/Clippers Talk. You go there, and all you do is click record. You click stop. You could review it. You could do another one. You could leave it anonymous. You could send it with your name and email. Put them in. I want to get to some voicemails right now about this. I need to hear from you, Clipper Nation. This is perfect timing. I just got this set up last night. Speakpipe.com/Clippers Talk. Do you still need to say / or is that assumed? Just wondering. I assume somebody's going to join me at some point here. Oh, that's another person that's working on their part of the story. What else do we got? What else do we got? Let me see. Did I get some voicemails? Are they coming in yet? I need you guys to drop some voicemails in right now. I want to hear from you. It's too big of a day. It is. Good or bad. And I'm going to keep pumping these 2 episodes that I did because it may be my best work. It is not Pulitzer worthy. It is maybe amateur hour to some. But I think I caught something. And I'm not saying that's what broke the case open. But this may be what the NBA investigation also saw. Check out these 2 episodes. What a difference a week makes with Pablo's investigation on the Clippers and proof that Pablo was milking this Clippers investigation story. Check them out. Required reading, required viewing. What else do we got here? Uh-oh. This isn't good. Uh-oh. Hold on now. Hold on now. I'm seeing something from NBA Communications. I need to bring this to you. Good news, bad news, we're bringing it all. NBA spokesman Mike Bass. ESPN's article regarding the LA Clippers investigation for which the NBA declined to cooperate contains numerous and significant inaccuracies. The results in this matter will be made clear once the investigation is concluded. All right. It continues.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
Why can't it just be clear? How big are the inaccuracies? NBA spokesman Mike Bass. ESPN's article regarding the LA Clippers investigation for which the NBA declined to cooperate contains numerous and significant inaccuracies. The results in this matter will be made clear once the investigation is concluded. Are the inaccuracies relevant to whether or not it's cap circumvention? That's all I care about. That's it. That's it. Did Pablo already retweet it? Stop playing with my heart. Playing games with my heart, my heart. I am, of course, we're waiting for the exact conclusion. As I said earlier, I don't think this is done yet when people are already celebrating. AP Hoops says, I don't think it's bad news. Seems like they simply didn't want the investigation results to be leaked before it officially concluded. The inaccuracies are probably small things. Probably. Likely. No. This is our news to break. I could see that, them being annoyed. But, I mean, this is pretty well sourced from Baxter Holmes. Yeah, I already read that from what Pablo said. Bro, so they're going to do another investigation or what? This is so stupid.
That's too damn bad!
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
There's always more. There's always more. You know what else there's more of? Voicemails coming in currently. Got to get to them. Let's see what we can bring to you guys. I want to hear from you. If you didn't know, you can see right there, down there. So you see all the social media stuff? Next to it, speakpipe.com Clippers Talk at the bottom of the screen on the left-hand side. That's all you do. You just go there. Drop in some voicemails. Oh, God. This is going to be good. One of them says Tablo Pori. Oh, this should be fun. Let's review the voicemails. Starting with this, Jeremy in LA.
Hey, it's Jeremy in LA, aka Jason C in the chat. And this is Adam Oslin finds out on Clippers Talk. I still think we might get punished a little bit for the
I don't disagree, but I think they would take a punishment that is a slap on the wrist if it doesn't include verbiage of this was cap circumvention or this was low-level cap circumvention or whatever. If it has anything to do with the wording of cap circumvention included in there, I think that's what the Clippers want to avoid. That's the stain you don't want on your legacy.
I think we might get punished a little bit for the Kawhi not paying back some money through Uncle Dennis. And I also think the Dennis Wong thing is still a little shaky at best. So we probably might get fined and we might lose a second rounder. I think that's the most that happens. But once again, this is Clippers Talk, and Adam Osland finds out.
Okay. There was Jeremy there. Let's see what else we got. Tablo Pori wants to weigh in.
Well, if the evidence allegedly showed the Clippers allegedly, potentially circumventing the NBA salary cap, then the Clippers should allegedly have all of their picks taken away, right?
Okay. Was that his Pablo parody? Round Rock Rob.
Good morning, Adam. Now that we know that at least Kawhi is off the hook and Ballmer is off the hook, when do you think that the Raptors will approve the trade and thus complete it? Any ideas?
I think soon. I think they want to get Kawhi in-house. But you also don't want to bring in a guy if he's still under suspicion, if it's still going on. And as we just read from the NBA spokesman Mike Bass, ESPN's article regarding the LA Clippers investigation for which the NBA declined to cooperate contains numerous and significant inaccuracies. The results in this matter will be made clear once the investigation is concluded. I think they don't like being jumped by anybody else breaking this news before they were ready for this to come out. All right, what else do we got? Any more voicemails? Get them in. Speakpipe.com / why do I say / Clippers Talk. I sound like such a noob and a boober. Bomber fine is all I'm willing to accept as punishment, said we really rollin'. Mr. Dubious. Wait, NBA just posted that still being investigated. I just read that. Damien. All right, I don't know about this. Jeremy. Forgot I had a radio voice. Adam finds out Jeremy has a radio voice. It's easy. Investigate the amount of bots Pablo sends to swarm every Reddit and Twitter post about his podcasts. Timothy, I think Clippers leaked it. That is interesting. Oh, so real. If we do trade Kawhi to the Raptors, better be centered around RJ, not trading Kawhi for... Look, it's going to be Brandon Ingram. It's not... The trade was... let's see. How did they put the wording of this? Agreed to in principle.
Shabbat for three. Bingo!
Thank you for the super chat, Killer Ghost. Even though the NBA put out a message, I believe the information released by Baxter and friends is accurate. Your thoughts, Adam? I think for the most part it is. There could be some stuff that's slightly off that doesn't, affect the spirit of what he was talking about there. That this isn't about the Clippers getting hammered for cap circumvention anymore. They're looking at the player introduction that they made with Kawhi. Damien, we own the Lakers and we beat the Chargers. I can feel the chip coming. Seft, gives the Raps plenty of time to set up Dennis back channel deals. Tableau Pore was definitely just satire. I need it to be a little late on, or even thicker than that. Timothy, Clipper statement came up after ESPN article dropped. Yes, that's true if you're saying they had this crafted statement, but I don't know. I probably could have put that together in the 15 minutes after the ESPN article dropped. 182 Clash Productions, they agreed to the trade already. They can't change it. No, they absolutely can change it. The trade was not finalized. It was agreed to in principle. It could be looked at poorly with a trade partner in the future if they changed it, but they can definitely change it. If Kawhi's suspended half the season or had his contract voided, they're not doing the trade. They don't have to do it at this point. Kawhi is a Clipper. Technically, he is absolutely a Clipper right now.
Blake Griffin will turn, shoot a three from the layup. Bounce, he got it! The Clippers win!
A gift membership. From Oh So Real to We Really Rollin'. Oh So Real has just been oh so real. He's a real one. He's giving out memberships. He's gifting them. Thank you. Hit that like button. Oh So Real gave it to We Really Rollin' 6680. Thanks for becoming a member. Thanks for Oh So Real gifting the membership. Uh-oh, Clayvon in here. I hate the Lakers. Pablo better return that Pulitzer Prize ASAP.
Crawford. He has Favors on him. He'll fire in Favors' face for the win. Bingo!
Lee Chua Joker also received a gift membership from Oh So Real. Oh So kind. It really helps the channel. You guys know I'm doing these episodes every day. If you want to support the show, hit the join button. That's the best way to do so. I am definitely putting in the work. If you don't believe me, check out what I did this weekend talking about Pablo Torres and investigating him for once. Adam, are we making the play-in tournament or not? I need to see the final roster, but I think they're the 9th or the 10th seed at worst. But that's dependent on injuries. There's some luck involved, of course. Every team has to deal with it. Everything was circumstantial. Pablo's numbers never matched the accusations. 182 Class Productions. I'm saying the Clippers have no reason to increase the price of the trade when it was Toronto that put it on pause. Oh, in that case, yes, I agree. The Clippers, they wouldn't go back on their word with the trade with Toronto and ask for something different. The trade was agreed to in principle. It would be in bad faith to then the Clippers up the trade or Toronto. I don't see that happening. It's not like this is the last time they're going to deal with that team. They just got, new front office and stuff, and you don't want to have that creating difficult situations with a poor trade partner. You don't want to have it like the Clippers and the Lakers, who rarely ever trade with each other anymore, unless you get Ivica Zubac from Mike Muscala. Thanks, Magic. Sir Fantasy Stats Guru said, well, if the story was floated to see the reaction, the fact that the NBA retracted the accuracy is a bad sign for the Clips. I'm not going to say it's a great sign. To be up for a Pulitzer, you have to nominate yourself, I believe. I think you have to pay money. There's prize money to win. The Ralph laugh at the end was golden. I mean, that's the other incentive of being a member. I got multiple different clips in here. Still got the Ivica Zubac clip that nobody has gotten yet. And if you do get it, you'll get an Ivica Zubac shirt and a little Nerf hoop thing they gave away at Clippers games. We really rollin', said Oh So Real. Thank you, Oh So Real. Is there a medal for putting in the work? Putting in the work. Said Pulitzer. Work it, sir. Looking forward to cheap tickets this year. Feels like 2006 again. When are they not reasonably priced tickets? Big RR64. We've been dragged through the mud. Screw Pablo Torre. It was a witch hunt the entire time. I don't know if you can say that. Oh, we got some nylon in here from Max Vega, courtesy of Carlo Jimenez. And the jewels he just gave so we could see it. AP Hoops, thoughts on the individuals saying that this has ruined the NBA, as if we're all naive enough to believe that these type of bonus deals haven't existed for years. Yeah, I don't want to get into the whataboutism and saying, well, everybody does it. The Clippers are just sort of the ones who may have gotten caught, or the allegations are going their way. I don't want to do that. Justify bad behavior by pointing to other bad behavior. I think that's weak.
Nylon!
I like the nylons. You guys do too. Did I know Pablo had the worst around the horn performance of all time? No. Is that definitive? Punk's gone wrong. Pablo reminds me of the newscaster from the Gummy Venus de Milo episode from The Simpsons. I'm not as well versed with The Simpsons. My parents wouldn't let me watch it as a kid. It's one of the greatest shows ever, longest running show of all time. A-Town 98. So we back in business. The rebuild lives on. It looks like it's heading that way. But again, can't ignore what we got from, let me get the name again, Mike Bass, NBA spokesman. Mike Bass. ESPN's article regarding the LA Clippers investigation for which the NBA declined to cooperate contains numerous and significant inaccuracies. Saying significant inaccuracies doesn't feel good. That doesn't sound like little things. The results in this matter will be made clear once the investigation is concluded. I could see the Clippers getting some penalty. I could always see that. But it's still looking less likely that this is going to be something catastrophic. We're talking about multiple first-round picks and anything close to what happened with Minnesota with Joe Smith. I didn't confirm, but also if Pablo implied he knew about the Daktronics deal for 11 months, I find it fishy. He did not imply he knew about the Daktronics deal. He said he was investigating it for 11 months, and yet somehow didn't watch that entire video where the guy said, yeah, we had a relationship going back to 2019. And Pablo just skimmed over that, just kept talking about 2023, and that's when the deal came. Seems unrealistic and unlikely. We've turned Mike Muscala into, for now, a half season of Benedict Mathurin and Keaton Wagler. And another first coming. One of the latest episodes, they show emails dated July 2026, I think, so most likely they didn't know until recently. What? I don't know what you're talking about there. AP Hoops on Twitter. In a little more than an hour, Shams Charania will be live on ESPN on NBA Today to clarify his reporting. Assume he will speak about the NBA statement, too. I guess we'll stay with you guys. This is going to be one of those days. Clippers Talk Marathon. Let's see if my equipment overheats. Pablo needs to investigate Adam on this zoo clip that still hasn't popped up. I swear to you guys, I put that clip in. I played it for you before to prove it. Do I need to do it again? I'll show it to you. I'll show you so I could be transparent about it. I have no issue with that. If you look, this is what Streamlabs looks like in here. So these are all the different member clips I put in here. Kawhi for the win, Lou Williams, a Kennard, Blake Suns game winner I think we just heard earlier, JJ Blazers, Jay crossover against Utah, we saw that earlier, PG on the Cavs, Zoo on Wemby.
Zoo.
How dare you question my credibility? It is in there. It is. See, Kevin just got it. No, that's a bot because I just played it. I'm not trying to be withholding like Pablo was with some of that information about, allegedly, he was with some of that information about 2019. At least it's all pointing to a resolution finally. Sure. We're getting closer. A little closer. Max said, okay, they're going after Lakers ownership. Appreciate you, Ice Cold Beverage. You're a member. You've been around for a long time. The fact that all Kawhi had to do was announce his deal and sign a few things or do anything to prevent this is all just mind-blowing. But it doesn't look like, according to the Baxter Holmes article, which also has Ramona Shelburne on it, which also has Shams Charania, which also has Bobby Marks on it. There's some heavy hitters. This is less about what Kawhi did or didn't do and whether or not the Clippers followed the procedural methods of introducing a player to a company they already have a deal with collectively as the team. You can still have a deal, the individual, with a company too. JJ the boy, Clippers talk forever. Yeah, it's going to be a long episode. Comes Clavon. All those faker fans like Flight Mike got to eat that crow like it's a three-piece with the biscuit. They just knew Big Ballmer was capping and prayed for our downfall as usual. Clavon, I need you right now. Clavon, get on your phone. It is super easy to do. And give me a voicemail. Give me a voicemail, Clavon. You're in here. I can even pull it up for you. I can show you how easy this is to leave a voicemail here on Clippers Talk. So I can play it for everybody right now. Right now. All you do is go to speakpipe.com/ClippersTalk. All you have to do is then click start recording. Stop recording. You can listen to your recording. Did you like it or not? Then you could redo it. You could put your name in. You could not. Then you hit send. It's really simple. Clavon, I need one from you right now. I need one from you other guys in here too. 250 people in here. I need some voicemails. Badly. Okay? What else do we got? All right. NBA Communications tweeted again. Again? Let me see. I already read the one. They didn't tweet again. Fake news.
Gets down to shoot. Lets it fly. Gets down. Lets it fly for the lead. Clippers lead by two.
The Gregory Elwood became a member. Thank you, the Gregory. The Gregory. Appreciate you in here. Very much so. You didn't get the Zubats clip, unfortunately, but a pretty good step back and great call from Brian Sieben on that PG-13 game winner where he dropped Evan Mobley to the floor. Drop it like it's hot. Mac Tuman, all this nonsense for the Kawhi era to be such a failure. At least Clippers have closure on this. Okay, this is a hater. This is a hater. Money talks. Don't kid yourself. Adam, give the 20-second recap for us late joiners, please. I don't know if that is sufficient. I want you to I want this contextualized for you. I would just go back to the beginning of the video where I read the entire Baxter Holmes audio. If I try to do a 20-second recap, it's basically okay. Let me pull up the report again, which is titled Again. And that's fine. We can reset here. It's a lot. Sources. NBA has no evidence Ballmer funneled money to Leonard via sponsors. Instead, the NBA is focused on whether the team's introduction of Leonard to team sponsors constitutes a violation of the league's rules prohibiting salary cap circumvention. Two of the sources said the league is examining whether the Clippers are guilty of, quote, failure to supervise, unquote, employees, though it's unclear what specific rule the team would have violated or what the penalties would be. Two of the sources said. The 11th-month investigation into salary cap circumvention allegations expanded beyond Leonard's deal with Aspiration, the now-defunct green banking company at the center of the allegations, to at least 3 other companies that also had deals with the Clippers. 2 of the sources familiar with the talks told ESPN. However, sources said the league has presented no evidence that Ballmer funneled money to Leonard. And as for the failure to supervise employees allegation in here, well, it looks like everybody would fight that pretty hard. Let me see if I can find that once again. 2 sources familiar with the NBPA's thinking in the arbitration process said an argument that a sponsor introduction counts as salary cap circumvention likely would not survive. one of the sources said, quote, "That's dead on arrival." So if you're trying to conflate the sponsor introduction that maybe was botched being Cap Circumvention, that's not working. That's dead on arrival. That's not a very good argument. But we also got this from the NBA communications at the NBA PR official account, because we present everything here, not just what fits the narrative. NBA spokesman Mike Bass, ESPN's article regarding the LA Clippers investigation for which the NBA declined to cooperate contains numerous and significant inaccuracies. The results in this matter will be made clear once the investigation is concluded. I think they want to take ownership and authority on this case and not look like news was breaking before they were ready to put it out because it makes them look bad. But who knows? It could be more significant here. It obviously isn't going away quite yet.
Damn bad!
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
What else we got? Literally every team does that with their star players. I know the player introduction thing, if that's what they're nitpicking about, if that's really what the conversation is about, I don't think there's much to that. Okay, I want to see what Matt Moore is saying here. Friend of the show, even though we got into one of the hottest debates on this show. If you go in the video section and scroll all the way down, one of the first episodes was with Matt Moore. And we got into it, something about Kawhi versus Paul George and all these different things. Let's see what Matt Moore is saying. Okay. He's saying, okay, hold on. Reactions on, there's a lot. There is a lot. Okay. First thing I can find. This part. He quotes this part. One league insider with direct knowledge of league business said a salary cap circumvention penalty based on player introductions is an outrageous overreach, and that, quote, "it's the job of the players' agents to ask for introductions to sponsors and potential endorsers," unquote. The person also said that if the league punishes the Clippers for introducing a player to a team sponsor, it, quote, "will be felt across the league and players and their management won't stand for it." An outrageous overreach. If you try to equate salary cap circumvention because of a poorly done player introduction, which is more about the player's agent than it would be the Clippers or the team, introductions between team sponsors and players are common around the NBA, according to owners and other league executives who have spoken to ESPN. They're also something that the league itself has encouraged. Let's see what else we got. Somebody, Matt Moore, quoted, "But if the league doesn't punish the Clippers, it will embolden other franchises, and it also will be felt across the league, and fans won't stand for it." Matt Moore, "It is hilarious to me that people think this is a novel concept. Folks need to read more books on NBA history. Never said it was novel, but it's brazen. Every fan should want their owners to do this stuff now. The precedent has been set that it's okay." Hardwood said now. He's saying, Matt Moore, like this hasn't been happening forever. The reactions on here are really hilarious today. He retweeted Sam Quinn. "I don't know if what is publicly known should or does constitute appropriate evidence of cap circumvention, not a lawyer, but if it doesn't, that suggests that proving circumvention is functionally impossible if the circumventors put an ounce of care into covering their tracks." Matt Moore said, "What stopped it before? Why do we really believe it wasn't happening? We're that naive?" So then he retweets from the NBA communications the statement from Mike Bass, and he said, "The article is based on the findings that the league presented to the Clippers in July, so it's the Clippers trying to set the terms of the PR war." And that could resonate with me. That's something that, yes, I could see. That this is more so coming from the Clippers side. Somebody else said that in the chat earlier. But they're the ones that could be leaking this because It looks favorable, and this is everybody's been saying, why aren't the Clippers doing anything? Why aren't they showing this or that? Why aren't they fighting back? Well, they're waiting for the investigation to play out, but if this was coming from their side, Matt could be right. So it's the Clippers trying to set the terms of the PR war with this coming out today, possibly. Ty said, I think the challenge is the owner money is also being funneled into the same company sponsorships that the player is signing up with. The conflict of interest and incentives can easily be seen as circumvention, almost can act as a money-washing scheme. Matt said, you have to choose of this looks shady as F, unquote, is enough, or if you think there needs to be proof. That's for an NBA decision. But the article, heavily influenced by not just the Clippers and the NBPA, outlines the ramifications in suit and arbitration, and you need actual proof there versus how everyone feels about this to hold up. Trabers responded to Matt Moore. Ever see those billboards for local car dealerships that somehow feature your local multimillionaire NBA player heroes? Makes more sense now. Matt said, no. This is the first time anything like this has ever happened, and we are shocked to find circumvention in this establishment. Matt Moore, last thing, and I'm bailing. The way to read this article is to look at the arbitration element. The NBA has broad discretion to satisfy everyone's inexplicable bloodlust on here. But that ruling has to stand up to arbitration in court, not to be overturned, and both the Clippers and, most importantly, the NBPA were not going to let it stand. Do not disregard how much the union is present in the article. You can't be uniformly pro-player and then anti their cause and getting the players the most money possible, even through dubiously legal means. I think that's everything we got on Matt Moore. The retweet of the Doom trailer. Avengers. I think there's some fair stuff there. People had already gathered that maybe the Clippers are the ones leaking this today. Someone said, we need the new update. Should I post, I'm live right now? Let me put this up. We need the new update. I'm live. Don't worry. Did you not think I would be? E-Money Bags said that. Let me see. Do I have any other funny responses, replies? This is what he said, so I retweeted it. Jason says, so the NBA found no evidence of wrongdoing with the Clippers and Kawhi's contract. I guess this means the trade will be allowed to go through by Adam Silver now. He's responding to Monsi from Fox Sports Radio and Ben Maller, who are Clippers fans. Ryan Joseph Murphy, well, with the news today, it sure feels like Pablo never had smoking gun evidence, and neither did the league. Keenan Alban, shout out to Adam for his work on the Clippers pod, dropping incredible. Oh, that's not the same pod. That would be Clips and Dip. Dropping incredible evidence and takes at the beginning of the investigation that had me convinced the entire time that Ballmer and the Clippers are innocent. We were right the whole time. The NBA has not come out with its findings yet. It's not over yet. We can't start dancing on Pablo's grave or anybody else's yet. Clipper revival, 100%. It's a vendetta now for him, clearly. Ryan Joseph Murphy actually did a video kind of parroting a lot of my investigation, and he gave me a ton of credit, so I appreciate Ryan. He put it in more short form, 7-minute video, if you want to check that out. Anything else coming out here? Chat, what's good? Has Clavon left a voice message? While yesterday I would say this is coping and wishful thinking, today this sounds more realistic. He Hate Me said, awesome name, sounds like we in the clear. Probably at worst, we get a nominal fine. He Hate Me, XFLer, played for my Carolina Panthers also. Good kick return specialist. Okay. This is too far. Brian Washington. Badula go to the Rockets. They pick him up. They could use him. That makes sense with Reed, Shepard on that team. I could see them being similar, running some of the same stuff. I'm not saying he's Reed Shepard. Is Pablo on PTI today? Chemo saying, Ramona's a Laker lover, Clippers hater. If she's involved and it's a positive view of the Clips, then you know we are sitting pretty. I don't know about that. Sir Fantasy Stats Guru, CBA does not need concrete proof, just the lack of explanation for fair value. You're trying to quote, if it can't rationally be explained, circumstantial evidence is enough when it comes to proving cap circumvention? Because that is true. Sensi, I'm loving it. Plausible deniability. Let's get some t-shirts made. This was just another way to try and crucify the people's team. Padula got signed to the Rockets two-way. Happy for him. Clip show for life. Giannis is literally the face of Calci, so what are we talking about now? ESPN 3. Nylon. Oh, now everybody likes ESPN, huh? Peyton Watson? No news? Check Sam Amick's article. Will do. Let's see what we got. I feel like I'm going to need to take some ibuprofen. Where's Amick's article? It's on Peyton Watson. Okay. Got you. Pulling it up right now. Share screen. Titled, As Nuggets and Peyton Watson negotiate, will Cavaliers, Bucks, Clippers swoop in? There is at some point a Peyton Watson plot twist yet to come. Maybe the Denver Nuggets restricted free agent wing eventually gets the money and role he's seeking by way of sign and trade with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Milwaukee Bucks, and LA Clippers all remaining in the hunt for the 23-year-old. It's possible he strikes a deal with the Nuggets, whose present offer, 4 years, $70 million, with a team option in the future season, per a league source, falls well short of where he sees his worth. This could also head down the hard road, with Watson either taking the qualifying offer, 1 year, $6.5 million, yeah, right, as a route to unrestricted free agency next offseason, or holding out altogether, in which case the Nuggets would still hold his rights. They could find him. With no salary cap space teams left to provide an offer sheet, those are the four options still in play for one of the NBA's most interesting late summer situations. But regardless of what comes next, the bigger picture issue for Nikola Jokic and his Nuggets is the substantial gap between Denver and the league's most elite teams. By any objective measure, they're no closer to the reigning champion New York Knicks, San Antonio Spurs, or Oklahoma City. I don't care as much about this part of it and how it affects the Denver Nuggets and their standing with contenders in the league. Let me see if there's anything else pertaining to his contract, because that was not exactly revelatory. Okay. Yet, even with the organizational support for the front office, co-headed by Ben Tenzer and John Wallace, the substantial pressure from their luxury tax situation is almost certain to force hard decisions between now and February's trade deadline. It's not just about the money anymore under the current collective bargaining agreement, of course, with roster building restrictions placed on offenders being pivotal in every team's calculus. That means even the most beloved of Nuggets not named Jokic could eventually be on the move. Though Johnson, who has an expiring contract worth $23 million next season, is widely considered the top candidate. The problem is, if they trade Cam Johnson now to make more room under the second apron, then Clutch Sports agent Rich Paul for Peyton Watson could say, you have nowhere else to go. You have to pay my guy. You just lost your other wing. I think that's what the holdup would be with Cam Johnson. Sam Amick, to put it plainly, holding the line has been hard for the Nuggets this offseason. The 31-year-old Jokic had a chance to provide some stability by signing an extension this summer that would have run through the 2030-2031 season, but opted to wait as a way of securing max money, an estimated $80 million when he's 38 years old. Jokic said, quote, my idea is to sign next summer and stay with Denver for the rest of my career. We all know about that. Is there anything else on Watson and the Clippers? To that end, all signs point to Watson being patient enough to wait for a resolution that's to his liking. His agent is Rich Paul, the Clutch Sports founder, who is no stranger to uncomfortable negotiations, meaning his client will remain the priority no matter how much that jams up his current employer. And considering the precedent set for another young Nuggets talent in October of 2025 when 25-year-old Christian Brown was given a 5-year, $125 million extension, there won't be sympathy coming Denver's way from Watson's camp anytime soon. As for Watson's league-wide suitors, the Bucks would benefit from a longer delay here because it would open up sign and trade options that might be more amenable to their priorities. More specifically, September 6th looms as the first date on which they can aggregate players acquired in the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade with Miami if they were looking to avoid sending a first-round pick or two Denver's way. As our Eric Nem reported recently, the prospect of sending rotation players instead would be a possible solution. That route could allow them to avoid using the $25.5 million trade exception that was created in the Antetokounmpo deal. That scenario would require the Nuggets to be out of the second apron. As for the Cavs, who still have James Harden's contract situation on hold as they navigate the Watson and Jonathan Kuminga pursuits, it remains to be seen how long they're willing to wait, or for that matter, how they can make the money work for Watson and Harden while remaining below the first apron, which they must do to legally sign and trade for Watson. Here we go. The Clippers, meanwhile, have the requisite financial flexibility and draft capital to get something done, but are also juggling much larger issues at the moment, even beyond the league's never-ending investigation into salary cap circumvention that has paused the Kawhi Leonard trade to Toronto. They have yet to reach a resolution with their own restricted free agent, Benedict Mathurin. None of which is to say the Nuggets are doomed, but they are in a bit of a title contender ditch at the moment, 3 years removed from the franchise's only championship and seeking creative ways to dig their way out, using Watson's situation as a shovel. We got another voicemail here. I definitely want to hear it. Is it Clavon? If you want to get in on the voicemails, as that was more rehash and more of the same, and the standing really hasn't changed with Peyton Watson and what could be happening there. But speakpipe.com/Clippers talk. That's where you go. It's also in the bottom corner of the screen here at the bottom with other social media stuff. What do we got? Let's see here, Clipper Nation. Voice already kind of getting a little bit raw here. It's 1:30. I hope this means it's from Clavon. Gregory Elwood.
Hey, Adam. Thank you for everything you do.
It doesn't sound like Clavon. Gregory, what's up?
You are a shining light for Clipper fans, and with so little radio coverage that we get, really appreciate this channel. I don't even know a lot of franchises that have people who do what you do, so thank you. I just got to say really quickly, listen, I had a startup, and I know what it's like when the startup is not doing well and you need money from your investors to survive and to try to make it to a sale. You might have something you think is valuable and you need that money to come in. I've been saying to my friends in September, that's clearly what the payments from Ballmer and the other Clippers minority owner were making to Aspiration were. Aspiration was looking for a sale. It was looking for more VC funding. You have your other angel investors continue to invest to keep the company going. That's why Mark Cuban came out against Pablo and everything he was doing, because he saw what this was. I got to tell you, man, I'm a journalist. I'm a critic. I'm a writer. I cover entertainment, but I still cannot believe that Pablo won a freaking Pulitzer for this. This is all some of the most manipulative framing of a story I have seen in my entire career. They'll never take it away from him. But damn, there are some gullible people out there.
Wow. That was weighty. I didn't know his credentials here from Gregory.
That's why Mark Cuban came out against Pablo and everything he was doing, because he saw what this was. I got to tell you, man, I'm a journalist. I'm a critic. I'm a writer. I cover entertainment, but I still cannot believe that Pablo won a freaking Pulitzer for this. This is all some of the most manipulative framing of a story I have seen in my entire career. They'll never take it away from him, but damn, there are some gullible people out there.
Wow, Gregory spitting some hot fire there. Pablo's way. It sounds like he has some authority on the subject. Speakpipe.com/Clippers Talk. Leave a voicemail. I'm so glad I got this as one of our features now here on Clippers Talk, and I just got it set up last night. Thank God I did that. It makes it so much more interesting to me getting to hear from you guys. Might surprise you. I don't just listen to myself too much. Yes, I'm over with 15 years in the business now, not being able to stand listening to my own voice. I don't mind that, but I want you guys to weigh in. I want you guys to give opinions. Shar says, for real, Greg. It's cooking right now. X Vega. Yeah. Adam, Sam Amick was about the case and the Clippers, not Watson. Huh? Did I read the wrong thing from Sam Amick? Was that not what I should have read? That was from August 12th. So it was definitely a rehash. Sorry, pulled a little bit of Pablo there. It sounded way too familiar. Here is what Sam Amick said about the case. My apologies. Here you go. The NBA, per spokesman Mike Bass, or is it Bass, has issued a statement regarding today's ESPN report on the Clippers' Kawhi Leonard salary cap circumvention investigation. Like we haven't read this already. ESPN's article regarding the LA Clippers investigation for which the NBA declined to cooperate contains numerous and significant inaccuracies. The results in this matter will be made clear once the investigation is concluded, unquote. Sam Amick says, according to the report, the league has found no evidence that Clippers owner Steve Ballmer funneled money to Leonard through team sponsors. Why did I need to read this? He's just summarizing what we knew. Huh? Timothy, what is wrong with you? Why did you send me on this freaking snipe hunt? Was it Snipes? What was the old camping story? That was... wait, Sam Amick Law Murray dropped an article. God, thank you. Be specific. Sam doesn't look like... Did he retweet it? He didn't. I'm on Sam Amick's page. You can see what I see. Where's the article? I'm on Law's page. I don't see it. Timothy, I want to give you a timeout. Like, honestly, that was miserable to go through all that to get nothing new. Misinformation. Not misinformation, rehashed. Oh, Charles is in here. Charles, you want to come on? I'll send you a link. It's on the Athletic website. Why haven't they retweeted it? This is so frustrating. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. All right, I'll go to the Athletic website. I don't know why they would put something out and then not retweet it. Did it just drop a second ago? Okay, I see it. Could you just be more specific next time, Timothy, maybe? Just say, Sam Amick, Law Murray, I got it for you. It came out 10 minutes ago. I'll read it for you. Then we'll hear from Charles Mockler. God. Maybe it's me. I'll take the blame. NBA disputes report detailing potential findings in Clippers cap circumvention probe. From Mike Vorkunov, Sam Amick, and Law Murray. The NBA is disputing an ESPN report that detailed findings of the league's investigation into possible salary cap circumvention by the LA Clippers and subsequent settlement negotiations. Quote, ESPN's article regarding the LA Clippers investigation, for which the NBA declined to cooperate, contains numerous and significant inaccuracies, the league statement read. The results in this matter will be made clear once the investigation is concluded. Mike Bass, again. ESPN reported Monday that the NBA found no evidence Clippers owner Steve Ballmer directly funneled money to Kawhi Leonard via team sponsors and that the two sides had been negotiating a resolution to the investigation. It is unclear what elements of ESPN's reporting the NBA is disputing. The Athletic has reached out to the league office, the Clippers, and the National Basketball Players Association for additional comment and will update this story if either responds. Are we not getting more than that? The Clippers released a statement that read in part, the Clippers did not funnel money to Kawhi Leonard, arrange for others to compensate him on our behalf, or otherwise provide him with undisclosed compensation outside of his NBA contract. The NBA's investigation began in September into whether the Clippers had circumvented the salary cap through a $28 million endorsement deal Leonard signed with Aspiration, a now bankrupt environmental company for which he did no public marketing work. Although there was a group design left on the cutting room floor, the investigation has also since examined whether Leonard had another previously unknown endorsement deal with another company and if the Clippers improperly covered expenses for their star and were not reimbursed for them, according to multiple sources who spoke to The Athletic on the condition of anonymity in order to speak freely. Earlier this month, Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast subsequently reported Leonard also had a sponsorship contract with Daktronics, which manufactured the Intuit Dome's large video screen. And he said it started in 2023 until the next week he said, oh no, it was 2019 they had a relationship. Ballmer has repeatedly, that's my commentary, it's factual, Ballmer has repeatedly denied any claims that the Clippers circumvented the cap and has said he was a victim of fraud, having invested $60 million into Aspiration. Aspiration co-founder Joe Sandberg pleaded guilty to federal fraud charges and was sentenced earlier this year to 14 years in prison. NBPA Executive Director David Kelly said last month he does not think that there's a there there. The union will try to have input in the process and has a vested interest in the outcome. Is this just summary of what we already know? There is no timeline for a resolution to the league's investigation, but NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said last month that he hoped the results would be out by the end of the summer and said that the process needed to be complete before the 26-27 season begins. Now the end of summer looms close and training camps begin in roughly 6 weeks. The investigation has also put a hold on some league business. The Clippers are waiting to formally complete a trade that will send Leonard back to the Toronto Raptors that has left not just Leonard, but Brandon Ingram and Grady Dick in purgatory. The Raptors balked at finalizing the deal after the league asked it to sign an agreement that they would live with the consequence of the investigation if there are any. This story will be updated. Thanks, because that was just synopsis. I love y'all, but I didn't learn a damn thing there. I'm sorry. They reached out to the NBA, and they haven't responded. The story will be updated if either responds, the NBA, or the NBPA. I know the NBA came out with their own statement. It was written in there. I've already read it many times. Y'all are sending me on this dumbass wild goose chase to just rehash the thing over and over again. Oh, God. I want something new. Let me see. Let me see here. Mike Bass. Is there anything more from that side? NBA communications side? No, there's not. There's not. There's not. There's not. And now I'm feeling like just
Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
Timothy, you contributed to killing time, sending me this way. I trusted you.
Hot damn!
Thanks for the sub, doing nothing. Timothy, yeah, I'm totally getting that mute. R.I.P. I'm not going to do it because of your past reputation, even though you're not a member and you've been on here forever. I'm not going to give you a timeout. All right. Let me send out an invite to Chuck here, which is a little bit of a process. Give me a second. I have to create the room. But that was nothing. That was less than nothing. We are all now dumber. Do I have to play the Billy Madison clip? No, we're not. It's a decent way to reset what today's show is all about. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. I'm not mad. Just disappointed. I'm not even disappointed. I'm not. That much. Maybe a little bit. Make sure I get this right. So Chuck can see me. I can see him. What do we got? What do we got? All right, Chuck. Sending out. Can we get some more voicemails in here, please? Link to Chuck Mockler. I need more voicemails. Timothy, you need to give me a voicemail. Give me something interesting. People are saying he's a Lakers fan now because of that. All right, good way to start the week. Says somebody. Sent Chuck the invite. Charles Mockler will be joining us soon. Genius goes too hard. He called him a faker fan IQ. Okay, we don't need this infighting between Clippers fans, guys. Timothy's fine. I didn't give him a timeout. He has been very helpful before. Ooh, my guy Garrett Griffin is in here. Now this is somebody I really trust. It's so funny seeing the outrage to this, as if the NBA, which actively employs domestic abusers, is some beacon of morality. Well, there is that. In the end, it's a business. Andy said, need this Raptors trade to be upgraded to a 4-team trade where we get Sabonis and Watson. Tired of all the waiting. Did you just say tired?
Too damn bad!
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
If Timothy doesn't become a member now, after all that misinformation, not misinformation, but just nothing new. Today is a good day to be a Clippers fan. It says doing nothing. Raul Perez. So who would have been ESPN Don Van Natta's source? Someone at the law firm and NBA unhappy about it, trying to figure out who ESPN's source was. They couldn't have gone off Clipper sources, I would think. Yes, they could have. I don't think you know how this business works. He made us laugh. Timothy indirectly provided some good content with me being upset. Is that what you're saying? All right, we're going to hear from Chuck Mockler now. I need to set up his video for you guys. I'm excited about this. The first guest that I've tried to troubleshoot while a show is going on, so bear with me. I haven't done this with the new format before. It might take a second to get the sound right, to get him to be able to see exactly what's happening here. I'm actually already hearing Chuck, but
hello?
I think what we need to do is, Chuck, do you see me now?
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Do you see us?
Yeah, I got you.
Boom! Thanks for coming on, cleansing the palate here after I reread an article from Sam Amick from the 12th, because Timothy kept saying, oh, Sam Amick, oh, Watson, oh, Lumber, oh. All that new Athletic article did was basically rephrase what has already been said today. What is your reaction to the news or non-news, because it's still going on?
I mean, I was feeling pretty good for those like 6.5 minutes or whatever that we were kind of on.
That's
I don't
what
know.
She said. Okay. Sorry.
I don't know if I was on cloud 9, but I was like, okay, it's not a bad way to start the week. And then, I mean, that statement, it just feels like we're back to where we started before the ESPN article that came out today came out, right? Like we're just kind of, there's secrecy, there's sources that reading the first piece, I was like, how much do I really even put stock into this? Just because it's good news from sources, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how the sourcing from all of this works. So I just want it to be over. Like you were playing that clip again. I just feel like that little kid. I just want whoever's going to get punished to get punished. And then we can just ideally move on.
You were saying this statement, correct?
Yeah, that was that came out and it was like, okay, wish that would have come out for some of the Pablo investigations, but I guess they only hold that for when it's the Clippers side.
Did you by any chance catch of what I was alleging Pablo had done this past week, or the past week and a half with a couple of episodes? Because it sure looked to me like he was suppressing information that would undercut his own theory in episode 13 and then revealed it in episode 14.
Was it the timeline stuff with Daktronics? When he was like, they didn't know each other until this year, and then it was just kind of like he just picked it up from a different year on the next episode.
Yeah, and didn't address that, hey, I need to make a correction here of everything I talked about for over an hour on the last episode, how it was all about 2023, because 2023, with how he was framing the narrative, would be interesting because he was saying, oh, aspiration's dying. They need a new company to funnel money through to get to Kawhi. And in comes Daktronics, who's on hard times. And isn't this convenient? And, yeah, it turns out they knew him back in 2019 before they knew aspiration. And I don't see how he couldn't have known that when he was doing that episode 13 about 2023. And therefore, is Pablo just milking it as people have alleged?
Well, and now, I mean, he said he had another tweet where he was like, he said something where there was a clip where it was like, Ballmer's probably not going to be punished. And he was like, I tried to tell you. It's like, okay. And then he had another one.
Oh, because he laid the groundwork, and I
Right.
accused him of this immediately with that DeMaurice Smith episode, that if it didn't go his way, he'd say, well, it wasn't truly an independent investigation anyways,
Right.
because I talked with a former head of the NFLPA, and these things never are truly independent. Like, he already was trying to set that.
Yeah, there's a plan in place for however this ends up going. He will have a plan in place, and he had a tweet like an hour ago. It was like, when the time is right, I'm extremely excited for our episode about this, and it was the screen cap about the Clippers not supervising employees, though it's unclear what specific rule the team would have violated or what the penalties would be. So it's just like, there's obviously going to be 6 or 7 more episodes is my guess between now and Friday from Pablo. So I don't know. I'm exhausted. Like,
yeah, it's exhausting. This is how it goes.
And Kawhi's putting out all these ads and stuff now. Kawhi is like a spokesperson for companies this summer. He's putting out content. He's reading scripts.
He did do some of that with China last season, not to this extent, but
he had wet ball. Yeah, that was.
Guys tend to advertise those trips more than anything else.
Yeah. Did you think it was interesting the timing on the NBA calm statement? Because they had to have had that prepared.
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, is it that perfectly crafted they had to have it prepared?
Yeah, I guess it's just, ESPN's article regarding the Clipper. I guess it's not. Yeah, they knew it was coming out. It just felt quick. Like, it was like, it literally was like, what? An hour maybe? Like 15 minutes between the article dropping and their response.
I mean, yeah. I could drop that in 15. You could drop that in 15. Did the Clippers have theirs crafted? Because some are thinking the Clippers are the ones that tipped off this article, and they're the source or one of the sources.
That would be very funny. I could see them doing that. The thing that I will
to win a PR war,
exactly,
because everybody keeps saying, when are the Clippers going to do anything? This could be that. I have no idea.
And I will say, having never been sued or under investigation, it would be difficult to just sit there while 15 to 17 hour-long episodes come out about how you have done nothing but wrong on purpose and not want to throw some kind of defensive, like you're saying, like PR like, shot across the bow or something like that. So I think this is the most they can do. I don't know if we'll see another state if they did it. But yeah, and then like the other statement that they had, it was basically just like, after a year of scrutiny, the fact remains, we didn't do anything. Yeah, I think that'll probably be, I don't know if we'll see much more from them, from the Clippers, because I don't know what you can do. Because the PR battle, I think, is already lost, unfortunately, through no fault. I mean, maybe some fault of the Clippers, but when it's this 99 to 1%, in terms of attack and just having to sit there, and it's the Clippers who are already short in public opinion, emotional investments, like,
everybody feels that about their team, though, to some extent. It's the same thing when, like, everyone thinks Joe Buck hates their team, including Cardinals fans. And it's like, well, if everybody feels like that, maybe he's being somewhat objective.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. They don't get a lot. They don't get a lot of grace.
Yeah, they don't get a lot of grace, and I'm tired of sources. Like, because I don't know how close a source can be to something like the Wachtell investigation. I don't know how that can even be a thing. Like, I just don't know. I'm drowning in information that feels from both sides like it's just kind of cherry picked and not totally accurate.
You wonder
a microcosm of our times, but
where ESPN could have got this from. And obviously, it has to be people that have been investigated. It has to be people who are on the inner circle of this investigation, right? So, Raptor side, Clipper side, somewhere else, I don't know. It sure feels like that Kawhi trade should be going through now, because the one thing that I am pretty convinced about is Kawhi's not getting suspended. There's not going to be a voided contract, because that already was so remote of a chance happening.
They're not going to... As much as they don't want to anger Ballmer, they also don't want to deal with the Players Association.
Yeah.
You can't void anything. You can't, again, without some kind of hard evidence, the league will not open that can of worms with the Players Association. I just want the trade to go through. Yeah, maybe it was the Raptors doing us a solid. maybe they helped put out the piece.
And honestly, the NBA wouldn't mind that part happening. Honestly, that would help them.
Right.
Like, they may be upset that this was leaked ahead of time and they want, the definitive final say in all this, and this kind of cuts the line for that for some people. Mm-hmm. And that's why they had to put out that statement from, who was it, Mike Bass? But
yeah, Bass.
I don't know if they would mind actual basketball transactions happening to distract from some of this.
There's nothing more that Adam Silver wants than for you, me, Will, all of the Clippers people to go back to wondering, how's the fit with Rui and Brandon Ingram going to work? Like, that's all we want to talk about too. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of pretending like I have some kind of take on this that's like, makes sense or anything, because obviously we're a little biased, but it's just like, I just want to talk about basketball, bro.
We all have some bias, including somebody who seems very married to the conclusion in Pablo Torre. Everybody has some bias, but if you're upfront about it, I've tried to pull the Eminem 8 Mile. Hey, I live in a trailer. My mom's on Vicodin. All these things. Like, I'll take myself down before you do.
Yeah, and I was excited to just be frustrated about Bradley Beal being on the team, but now I'm frustrated about more extra aspiration stuff. So,
well, hey, why don't we verge over to that lane a little bit here?
I'm fine with that.
How do you feel about it? Since we're complaining about nobody talking about actual basketball, we could do some here. What do you think of the Bradley Beal thing?
I'm confused by it. It Joey Lynn had a tweet where he was like, there has to be another move. Like, it's like,
well, they have 17 guys on their contract, so something is happening.
Something has to give. I thought it was weird. It felt like kind of a lot of money. It felt like he's going to start, which I don't totally love that. But we just have a glut of guards again, right? Like we're just in that kind of thing we've been the last couple of years where it's like, oh, we can play quite a bit of small ball. We can run 3-guard lineups, but no one really wants that.
Well, the first thing I thought of is this probably means Matherin has a lesser chance of returning. The chances of him returning have lowered.
I would agree with that.
And that's not great to me, but it also is like, well, how much is he going to get versus what they gave Bradley Beal? If he's getting the same as Bradley Beal and they didn't bring Matherin back, I could be upset with that. If he is getting way more than Bradley Beal, then it's not comparable.
Yeah, I think Matherin, I hope, because we talked about the last Clips and Dip app, like if it's between Watson and Matherin, I think we were all in agreement, like I'd prefer Peyton Watson. And Matherin, I don't know what he envisions his role at this point in his career, because there is work to do. It's not like he's ready to totally take the reins of an offense or even be like a 2A. That's not disrespect to him. There's flashes of it. There's just no consistency right now. But yeah, and like you said, there's 17 guys. There has to be something coming. I hope it's a Watson trade because I do think Matherin's probably gone.
How, as I reread Sam Amick earlier from August 12th, how good do you feel about Peyton Watson ending up with the Clippers at the moment? Give me a percentage chance.
A percentage chance? I would go 17. That's kind of how I feel. It seems like some other teams might want him more than the Clippers. And the Clippers have to wait. What if they get an offer for Watson that the Clippers can't counter because there's just no time because we're dealing with Kawhi still being on the roster? Like what? I'm assuming that other teams would kind of give some grace. I don't know why I'm assuming that. Maybe I'm just too nice of a GM. But like,
okay, here's a question. Do the Clippers feel strongly enough now they don't need to see the Kawhi Leonard finalized, that trade finalized? They know they're getting those 2 first-round picks. Therefore, they know they could afford to trade one for Peyton Watson because they're not as concerned after today's news that they're going to lose out on the 2 first-round picks coming from Toronto.
Yeah, they're just trying to tell Denver, like, hey, we got it. Like, just let us just wait. How long will they wait, though? That's my thing. Like, if this goes into the season, I don't know if the Nuggets would wait. If they have comparable offers, obviously. They won't do it just to do it. But if I'm the Nuggets, it's like you can't wait.
Milwaukee needs a little bit more time to aggregate guys. I guess September 6th is a big date for them. So that may give the Clippers a little bit of an inside track to negotiate more because they're still waiting for stuff to go through with the Giannis trade.
Right, that's what it is. Okay.
But they do have a $25 million traded player exception. And if Denver wanted to take back very little salary, it does seem like Milwaukee would be the best way to do that.
Yeah. I'm so confused by Milwaukee. But yeah. Yeah, I think Math's probably gone. Who needs Ben Matherin, though? Like, who needs a player like Ben Matherin?
I think a lot of people do, Chuck. All right.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Like,
he's instant offense.
Yes, he is instant offense. The free throw rate is good. The Clippers needed that last year when he was getting those calls. So it's like,
well, even with his up and down play, it's like he has proven enough in big games, real big games.
Yes.
And he's 24, turning 24. Is he still 23? You bet on the upside of a young player still that has already shown a decent amount in a short amount of time because of the playoff runs with Indiana.
24? Yeah, he just turned 24. Damn, I didn't know he's from Quebec. I knew he was Canadian. I didn't know he was from Montreal.
Let's go.
Yeah, and Watson's younger, yeah.
Watson.
Yeah, he's 23. He was born on September 11th. His birthday's coming up. Yeah. It just feels like we're in a holding pattern. But they know, like you said, they're setting themselves up as if they almost not know what's going to happen, but know maybe the maximum, or they have some kind of idea of what the range of punishment could be. Because I do think there's something that they will be punished for something. I don't think the NBA will do all of this and then come out and be like, we're done. There's nothing here. So
it looks like they're trying to
punish.
get him on a ticky-tack penalty for the way they introduced Kawhi to aspiration. And they didn't follow protocols perfectly here. I could be misinterpreting. And the NBA released a statement, too, talking about significant inaccuracies. Who knows? But just off the article, it feels like there's a technicality they're trying to ding them for.
Yes, I got the same vibe. Reading like the listing of what the punishment can be or what the conduct that would be punished, it was like, okay, like, yeah, this feels like language that you could, if you had documentation, some emails or whatever, you're like, it had kind of loose language, round language, not super drilled down when it comes to that stuff, which is probably the point, because, what is an inappropriate introduction to a player and a sponsor, right? Like if you're out like at a mixer or something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how any of that works, but
yeah,
it felt like there's some wiggle room for the NBA to be able to put down some punishment again, which I think is an apparatus to put some kind of punishment there.
And I think the Clippers would accept it if they're not equating being dinged for this, meaning it's cap circumvention. What the Clippers want to avoid is having that stain of, oh, this was even a low level of cap circumvention. I don't think they want that language included.
Yeah, they want to be completely exonerated. They don't want any language about that cap circumvention. And the league probably doesn't either. They don't want any of that language attached to their name. In the legal sense, of course, in the public perception sense, I'm sure all of us who are watching have some Lakers fans in our lives who've already decided that the Clippers have circumvented the cap or things like that. So it's like, but the Clippers just care about the legality, and by legality, I mean league legality.
Right.
So yeah, they want that nowhere near their name. That's what they'll fight. I think you're right. They'll fight for, if they get dinged with that, some kind of other lesser charge. Not charge. Listeners know what I mean.
Yeah. Like we'll take a slap on the wrist if it doesn't include language about cap circumvention and it is just a technicality of something that is, very innocuous.
And to me, a slap on the wrist is like Ballmer suspended for half a season or something. Because like, what is that? As a fan, I'm like that to me does not.
But you're talking about on-court product, which I get. But optics-wise, I think they would still view that as like the perception looks really bad. Yeah. The guy who has the statement in front that says from one super fan to another, like if he was suspended for half a season, even if they're saying, well, this doesn't have to do with cap circumvention, but the way they introduced Kawhi to aspiration, like that wouldn't feel good.
Yeah, it wouldn't feel good, but I'd feel better about that than like losing one of the picks from the Raptors trade.
Sure.
Because I'm selfish. But yeah, I guess I'm sure. I'll tell you what, I bet there's going to be an episode this week from Pablo. Sounds like he has one in the chamber about kind of what was talked about today. So I bet we'll get one.
He's going to say it was never an independent investigation. This doesn't count. I told you. It wasn't truly independent. And I would say, well, who do you want to pay for this? Taxpayers? Like, if the NBA doesn't pay for the investigation, who pays for it?
Right.
What's the solution to not having the NBA pay for it so you can say it's truly not independent if they're paying the law firm? What's the alternative?
It coming from? Where's the independent? Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. It's easy to criticize. It's harder to have solutions.
Yeah, I get told that at work sometimes. I actually do. I have to go do a meeting. So I have to go speak about, hopefully I don't have to talk about the aspiration deal at my
first
meeting.
Order of business.
Yeah, dude. There
was,
dude, when the story first dropped, there was like, I work at a nonprofit. There's not a lot of sports people to talk sports with. But the day that the first Pablo thing came out, there was a Lakers fan in one of the meetings, like the one other person I talk sports with. And he was like, yeah, first order of business, when's Kawhi getting kicked out of the league? I was like, God damn it.
You would.
He would. Thank you for having me, sir. I hope we have no more news today.
Woohoo.
Regarding the aspiration.
This was enough.
This is enough. That's been enough.
To chew on and spit out, apparently, if you're Mike Bass.
Yes, 100%.
All right, thanks for doing this. Chuck Mockler, Clips and Dip. Chuck,
Talk to
appreciate you.
Be nice
and
to
happy
Adam.
birthday.
Thank you, buddy.
Tell Chuck happy birthday. Be nice to Adam. That is always a good sign off from Chuck. Be nice to Adam. That was cool. Could have Chuck Mockler on, and it seemed to work very well, which also is something that I typically end up worrying about with these things. Everything else still sound fine? Are we all good here? Let me see what I can do with this. Let me see. Okay. I think I'm reoriented here. Anything new that I missed since Chuck and I were talking? Anything? The real amoroso, Clippers and Raptors should be happy. Only loser in all this is Pablo. I know he doesn't feel like, or at least would not reveal if he felt like he had lost. Yeah, you think Pablo is going to ever say he was wrong? Story is done with now. Pablo got nothing out of all that work except upsetting a lot of people. I would not say the story is done. The story is not done until the NBA comes out with their findings and assesses either no punishment or some form of punishment. That's it. Waffles, pancakes, or French toast? French toast. All day. More flavor. Then waffles, then pancakes. In that order. Is this what we're doing?
Funny, Adam.
He asked the question. We good. Everybody's fine now. Okay, I have some more voicemails. Speakpipe.com/Clippers Talk. Speakpipe.com. Why didn't I just save and copy and paste this so I don't have to keep typing it out myself? Speakpipe.com/Clippers Talk. You don't need the /. I'm going to play some voicemails here. We'll see if Clay Vaughn ever weighed in. Could really use that right about now. This is just me. We got 2 more voicemails. Let's get to them here. Chemo.
Hey, Adam. It's Chemo from the chat. Like I've been saying for the last year, it's a nothing burger, and it's about to be lunchtime. If the bobblehead exists, you must acquit.
The bobblehead that said aspiration on it didn't mean anything because that's not an individual deal part of Kawhi doing that. That's the team putting aspiration on because they had a deal with aspiration. As I have explained many times, people would say, oh, no, this is proof. Kawhi did something for them. No, I know it's a little bit confusing, but the team has deals with certain sponsors, like you would see on a Reggie Jackson bobblehead Kia. That doesn't mean he has an individual deal with Kia. That means the team had one. They put it on the bobblehead when they released it that night. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Adam. This is Mark. It's one of the greatest days ever for Clippers fans. So excited. Finally get this rebuild started. Get that trade through. Let the season go and just build on here. Let's go. Hopefully I'll see you at one of the games. Definitely try to attend more games this year with my daughter. Definitely didn't forget about the picture. I'm gonna let her draw you a picture and send it to you. All right, man. Much love. Hopefully see you at the Clipper game. Let's go. Let's get everybody at the wall. First game. Go crazy. Go nuts. All right, Adam. Much love. Take care.
Let's go crazy. Oh, hi, Mark. Appreciate you. Thank you, and thanks to your daughter for the pictures. I think she had sent me one before. If you guys want to leave a voicemail, like right now, speakpipe.com/Clippers Talk. Really easy. Click on 2 buttons. You're done. That's it. And you can review it. If you don't like it, you can redo it before I hear it. You can get the perfect voicemail set up. You can script it out. You can do whatever you want. We're going back to pancakes. No, I have good taste with the French toast there. The significant part does does concern me from Mike Bass. The whole thing does. Because thinking, oh, we're good now. Everything's fine. Not quite. It never is. NBA Chief Communications Officer Mike Bass issued the following statement about 15 minutes after the Baxter Holmes article. ESPN's article regarding the LA Clippers investigation, for which the NBA declined to cooperate, contains numerous and significant inaccuracies. The results in this matter will be made clear once the investigation is concluded. Okay. Chemo said the bobblehead thing was just a joke. But, some other people weren't sure about that. I appreciate the voicemail, Chemo. That Mexican Nara. Adam, going off Chuck's question on who could use Mathurin, would you be interested in a trade with the Pistons? Maybe for Holland. They need a spark off the bench. That's Ben. Thinking of Bend, Oregon, where I interviewed Ralph Lawler. I can see that. I'm not opposed because of bringing back Bradley Beal. That may be writing on the wall for how.
Funny, Adam.
It's just a saying, writing on the wall. That may be writing on the wall for how much longer Benedict Mathurin's going to be a Clipper. Let's see. You think it's a Steve Ballmer thing? He's the one owner worth more alone than about 5 teams combined. The NBA doesn't want to mess with him. The story was more than enough. Yes, I've heard that before. Okay, ESPN has an update on their report. Is it just giving the Mike Bass thing? Drew Lerner. What are we learning? How does he spell it, and where do I find him? Because I spelled it, and I don't see anything. Drew Lerner. I've had enough of misinformation in the chat today that I followed up on. Who is this? Drew Lerner, ESPN. Or is it not ESPN? Okay, I see something here. This is from Awful Announcing. You guys, could you help me out a little bit here? I'm already looking at it. Like, is he just rehashing and summarizing and aggregating? All right. I'll read it for you. It's another way to reset. Why not? Maybe after this, I'll go take a nap. NBA ESPN report on Clippers investigation contains numerous and significant inaccuracies. Yes, I just read the statement for the 50th time. This one right here, Mike Bass. If he's just saying what Mike Bass said so he can get clicks on his website, I'm not really that interested if it's just more rehash. The ESPN report, authored by Don Van Natta Jr., Baxter Holmes, and Ramona Shelburne. Where's the part about Shams in there? Shams and Bobby Marks contributed. Detailed that the NBA has found no evidence showing Clippers owner Steve Ballmer attempted to circumvent the salary cap by funneling endorsement money to Kawhi Leonard through team sponsors. Rather, ESPN reported that the league is focused on whether introducing team sponsors to Leonard would violate league rules. We stand by our reporting, which included numerous attempts by ESPN to get comment from the NBA. An ESPN spokesman told Awful Announcing, okay, we stand by our reporting, which included numerous attempts by ESPN to get comment from the NBA. So they are responding to Mike Bass here, saying we're standing 10 toes down on it for the kids out there. All right. The NBA's statement is a rare example of a league issuing a strong public rebuke directed at one of its media rights partners. ESPN will pay the league an average of $2.62 billion per year over the course of its 11-year deal that includes the rights to the NBA Finals each season. If nothing else, ESPN's publication of this report clearly indicates that its investigative team is not self-censoring to protect the network's business interests. It remains unclear exactly what details in the report the NBA is refuting. In addition to reporting that the NBA has found no evidence tying Ballmer to any salary cap circumvention scheme and that the league investigation has moved its focus to how teams introduce players to potential sponsors, ESPN quotes a league insider calling a potential punishment on the grounds of players' introduction or grounds of player introductions an outrageous overreach, adding that players and their management won't stand for it. I'll read that one more time. It remains unclear exactly what details in the report the NBA is refuting. In addition to reporting that the NBA has found no evidence tying Ballmer to any salary cap circumvention scheme and that the league's investigation has moved its focus to how teams introduce players to potential sponsors, ESPN quotes a league insider calling a potential punishment on the grounds of player introductions an outrageous overreach, adding that players and their management won't stand for it. ESPN goes on to report that such ruling would be in direct contradiction to previous materials it has distributed to teams outlining how to introduce players to potential sponsors without violating salary cap restrictions. This is the ticky-tack thing they might be trying to get the Clippers on. But apparently, according to a league insider, that would be seen as an outrageous overreach. In addition to the NBA statement, the Clippers issued a statement on Monday defending their handling of Leonard's endorsement, though the team did not directly mention the ESPN report, if you want to check that out. Should I read it again? I'll read it again. Why not? The Clippers introduced players, including Kawhi Leonard, to companies with which we had business relationships. They had a relationship with Aspiration. Then they introduced Kawhi to Aspiration. Then he can have his own deal with them. That is legal. Making introductions between players and team partners is both an ordinary practice by NBA teams and a common request of players and representatives. From there, Kawhi and his representatives handled their own negotiations. The Clippers did not negotiate or dictate the terms of Kawhi's endorsement agreements or determine what he would be paid. Our commercial relationships stood on their own merits. We chose sponsors, vendors, and other business partners based on normal business considerations, including the value they provided, the quality of their products and services, and their ability to meet our business needs. We did not overpay any vendor or provide any sponsor, vendor, or business partner with discounts or other favorable terms in order to funnel money to Kawhi. The fact that a player has an endorsement relationship with a company that also does business with his team is not evidence of salary cap circumvention. After nearly a year of scrutiny, the central fact remains true and unchanged. The Clippers did not funnel money to Kawhi Leonard, arrange for others to compensate him on our behalf, or otherwise provide him with undisclosed compensation outside of his NBA contract. That was released by the Clippers. Now, I saw Pablo repost his own video. Justin Rousseau reposted it. What I just read from Awful Announcing and this guy, Drew Lerner. Or is he talking about something else with Justin Rousseau? Let's see. Anyway, he reposted the full statement. He didn't just repost it. He reposted it an hour ago. He also called Baxter Holmes and everybody on that report incredible and fascinating, said Justin Rousseau. All right, what else do we got? Pablo put out a video saying, I tried to tell you what Pablo was going to do. I'm telling you, and I told you, right after his interview with DeMaurice Smith, he is going to use this to say it was not truly an independent investigation. I called it immediately. Let's see what video Pablo retweeted. It's from August 7th.
Any chance Steve Ballmer is in jeopardy of losing the Clippers, being able to own them?
I think the question is an Adam Silver question, right? And this is what's so interesting. Adam Silver is not his mentor, David Stern. Adam Silver is actually the guy who welcomed Steve Ballmer in replacement of Donald Sterling and was hailed as this almost Aristotelian, brilliant, progressive leader in comparison to all the other commissioners, Roger Goodell namely, at that time. And so now he is bookending perhaps, his tenure, with the same guy being an even bigger problem, a complicated problem. And so if you're Adam Silver, and in 2019, when you cleared the Clippers and Steve Ballmer of cap circumvention after investigating the Raptors' claims and the Lakers' claims, what you've done, by the way, on the record, is say salary cap circumvention is the cardinal rule of the NBA. And I think underpinning all of this, Dan, the moment we're in with sports gambling, as the NBA balances a gambling scandal and investigation that we've been covering on the show as well, when they're balancing all of the other cap circumvention theories out there, Gary Trent Jr. as being the latest hypothesis someone has, is the question of whether the rules matter. And if you break the rules, as have been alleged by multiple episodes here of my show, and now
I'd just like to point out the question Dan Patrick asked was was about if Steve Ballmer could lose the Clippers because of this. It's like, this is why you got to get guys off their talking points in interviews, because they'll just filibuster. And I'm not saying what he's talking about isn't somewhat related, but it's not exactly a direct answer.
Hypothesis someone has is the question of whether the rules matter. And if you break the rules, as have been alleged by multiple episodes here of my show, and now
been alleged.
Rules, as have been alleged by multiple episodes here of my show and now elsewhere. The question is, how do you possibly make it so that the cardinal rule is actually treated like it? And so by any standard of fake NBA law, because these are all fake laws, these are all collectively bargained rules that you got to enforce, I think everything should be on the table.
Say any rule of law is fake? I don't
rules that you got to enforce. I think everything should be on the table. Realistically, in terms of the money, and if you follow it, I think there's a very real chance that Steve Ballmer...
I follow the money. I followed it, Pablo. You said $50 million in from Steve Ballmer, $48 million out of aspiration going to Kawhi. Can't be a coincidence. Oh, wait, Ballmer's putting in more money. It doesn't match up anymore. Yet, you never corrected that. I followed the money.
I think everything should be on the table. Realistically, in terms of the money, and if you follow it, I think there's a very real chance that Steve Ballmer emerges relatively unscathed, which is kind of insane to me, according to my reporting.
I don't know what I expected. So he retweeted that and said, I tried to tell you, from that video from over a week ago with Dan Patrick. I followed the money. Kawhi didn't get the full 48 anyways. So Ballmer's putting in money that Kawhi is never getting? Wait, is that cap circumvention? Oh, he got some of it. So that still counts. Not so sure about that anymore. If the allegation is the money is too close to be a coincidence, and now the money is not so close, because one, Ballmer put in more than $50 million, and two, Kawhi didn't actually receive all that money. We know. But oh no, that's when that's why they had to get Daktronics, because Aspiration was no longer paying in 2023. Oh wait, hold on. They knew him back in 2019 before they knew Aspiration. That doesn't work anymore either. Well, I'll just not correct myself on that episode either. I'm sorry, but after what I came up with this weekend on Pablo, I have a lot of questions. Anything else we need to get to? Any more voicemails? Let's see. Oh, here we go. We got multiple voicemails, and it may be from the same person. And the person that I was calling upon, the person that I wanted to hear from. What does that say? Clay Vaughn. First, let's start with Anonymous.
Woo! What's good, Clip Gang Gang? Yeah, what's good, Adam? What's good, Clip Nation? Let's get to it. Pablo the Glazer. I said, Pablo, yeah, go ahead and get that knife and go ahead and get that fork and get that hot sauce, because it's time to eat that crow, dog. You got to eat it all. Like one of them White Castle sliders. You got to slide it down. Pause. All right, let's get to it. We already knew they wasn't doing. We knew Papa Bomber wasn't cheating. Let's get to it, man. And like them cats like Flight Mike and all them fakers, snakers, them yellow belly Lakers, y'all got something to say? That's fine. Cause you gonna see us. When it come time, from game day, game one, you gonna see where we at. You gonna see what we doing. Cause guess what? We gonna cut them in half like a clipper cut the waves, dog. I hate the Lakers, man. Yeah. And so far as Ben, I still feel like that. Put that shit up, Ben. Put it up. Let's get to it. Clip gang. All right? And like I said before, Adam, we're going to cut him in half like a clipper cut through waves. We got Jamarian Sharp. We got the Yannick, because I'm still high off the Yannick, dog. I'm still smoking on the Yannick. And when they both get on the court with Baba Miller, and we got the Miller and Miller connection, let's get
Only Clavon will get cut off on his own voicemail. I don't know if there's only a certain amount of time you can put in. Obviously, I'd need to upgrade the plan if we go past 100 megabytes here. I do like that he referenced my whole line about I'm dangerously high on Yannick. I forgot about that because it does sound like a drug. I'm still dangerously high on Yannick. May he come back healthy by December. More from Clavon.
Oh, and one more thing, dog.
This will not be one more thing. We see there's another one. You're not stopping Clavon.
Yeah. Guess what, man? I ain't too happy about the Bradley Beal situation. I wasn't happy. I was never a Bradley Beal fan. You know, I guess we're going to have to deal with it one more again. But just see it like this, Clip fans. It's unfortunate. To me, even if we got him for a good deal, because we thought we was going to a whole new lineup. But we take the punches wherever it is. You know, we roll with the punches, baby. That's what we do. We does that. But regardless of what happens, hey, we need a couple of good vets. Yeah, we got Brooke Lopez out there, so let's get to it. All right, let's lead these young men to a championship or at least to a playoff. Because the way I feel about my team, I feel like we always got a chance. Oh, we're not gonna make it to this. We only gonna be number 10. I always feel like my team got a chance. Clip gang. We always got a chance, dog. And we ain't gonna stop till we cut them in half, dog. Like a what? Like a who? Like a clipper cut through waves, baby. We got a squad. Let's go. I'm going to send another one. Let's get it, Adam.
He called his shot after a side off.
Oh, yeah. And one more again. I love being an underdog. Man, we always been the underdog. So for them fakers, snakers, funky, stankin', yellow belly Lakers, we got something for you, dog. Rudy Hachimura gonna come down. We're gonna have him sit courtside with the Lakers hat on, with that mustard yellow Lakers hat with the X on it, like the Ghostbuster symbol. That's right. Because guess what? We're gonna take all y'all decent players, young players that want to come over here and play for the LA team. That's right. We run LA, baby. Gang. What he say? Clip gang. We clipping them. We clipping your wings. Y'all ain't gonna fly no more. Cutting them in half like a clipper cut through waves, baby. We're going to have a phenomenal season. Defensive-wise, offensive-wise, we finna put the whole game on notice, dog. Put that shit up, man. Put it up. If you come back, I'm going to holler at you in a minute. Let's get to it, Adam.
Oh, my God. The voicemail was made for Clavon, because even when he called in, it's not like I ever got a word in with him. Now there's no threat of me cutting him off.
Offensive-wise, we finna put the whole game on notice, dog. Put that shit up, man. Put it up. If you come back, I'm going to holler at you in a minute. Let's get to it, Adam.
Oh, my God. Clavon going legend on the voicemail now. Somebody else just called in. I'll get to that in a second, but I did see AP Hoops, our friend, who I've tried to get on the show. I don't know why it's so difficult. But he said Baxter Holmes on SportsCenter said this: there will be an NBA Board of Governors meeting in mid-September that will likely provide official clarity from the NBA on a resolution to the Kawhi Leonard investigation, per Baxter Holmes on SportsCenter. So we got another month of this. All right.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad.
Oh boy. Let me get back to the mailbag here. We got a new one for you. Oh, so real. Let's go.
Well. Keep quiet or not to keep quiet? Nah, I get it. Trade's still going to go through. They're still going to rebuild, even though at one point I thought, you know what? We just wanted to force the NBA's hand before they just decide to suspend Kawhi mid-season, mid-playoff run with this new revamped young gun team. But we'll see what happens, Adam. So I can't wait to finally get back into some Clippers talk that has nothing to do with an investigation. So at least for this one, I'm going to just keep it at, let's go Clippers!
Oh, so real is exactly that. He has been gifting memberships in here. Really cool to see. Now remember, you can continue to fill up the voicemail box even while I'm off the air. And we'll get to them in the next episode. And that is speakpipe.com/Clippers Talk. It's right there. Do you see it down below? Next to the social media handles? It's right there. That's how you find it. I think we're good for now. I think. Right? Is anything else happening? Can I wait and jump back in here a little bit later? Can I wait? If Pablo's going on different shows, maybe I'll review them and then see what he says and come back with you guys in a bit. What, is he doing PTI today too? I'll review. Because I was nice to Pablo for a very long time. I was very fair. But now I'm not so sure I can do that anymore with what I uncovered with his reporting. And again, this is required viewing. Required. I've never said that to you before here. It is. I need you to get to these 2 episodes. Start with this. What a difference a week makes with Pablo's investigating on the Clippers. Then this. Proof that Pablo is milking this Clippers investigation story. Required. Check those out. I'm Adam Osland. This has been another episode of Clippers Talk. And you already know I'm going to be back later.